it's a new week. We have some characters to make. I will be making the campaign video for last week, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow afternoon. I was going to record it separately because Saturday was an excellent, excellent stream. It was also very heartfelt. It did carry emotion. It carried purpose. And hopefully it answered that question that was brought up by Hakora. Why do we play D&D? Why do we roleplay? What's the point and purpose? What do we get from it? And I hope that as a community, not just me presenting something to you, we were able to answer that question. I posted the VOD for that as its own link in the feed down below, if you're looking at that. Hey, Peru! Going into it, and bye, Peru. Hi, Peru. Bye, Peru. Yeah, nice. Del says, I only found out about it because it was being mentioned in a campaign on Dice Camera Action previously. In one of their TOA episodes, they encountered an enemy from their run through Storm King's Thunder. Oh, okay. Yeah, there are homebrews. That is true, Del. In fact, there's one that there is a homebrew that King populates, and it's run on Fridays. It's a 3.5 edition campaign. And I would like your all's help with King's prompt to give them a little bit of a raid real quick, and he has something in mind for him. All right, well, why don't we get into things? I've lectured long enough, and if you have questions on what's happening with the channel or the community that we're building here, ask them here, ask them on Discord, and I will get to them as soon as possible. I'm always open to constructive criticism and questions, comments, concerns, more C words. Hey, Clark. Thank you for joining us. Are you, let's see, Clark, did you say that you had a bunch of snow here recently? I know for sure Del shared a link on Discord showing that out his way there's at least a couple inches of snow, but have you been getting a lot still in this last gasp of winter? Oh, your snow hasn't even gone away. Gotcha. You still have to dig paths through it, and yeah. In fact, as I write this, it's raining right now, and there's probably been a couple flashes of lightning. Oh, there's a snowfall warning even. Oh, and here I am hearing the pitter-patter of rain on the window. Yeah, Dark Wolf. Questions? Raven says we went from snow to a tornado in one day. Oh, jeez. Peru says the same. Ours was gone last night, now we've got a thunderstorm. Yep, so Del, I mean, because you and I are state neighbors. You got snow, we did not, but we're sharing the rain. Jose misses rain. Where were you located again, Jose? And Clark says 40 centimeters, or 40 plus centimeters expected. Ooh. I hope you get out there and you can salt your sidewalks. Like I said over in J-Man stream, you missed the mess here today. Oh, okay, you are in Peru. Did I tell you that I was in Peru a couple years ago, Jose? I'm going to start the process of rolling for things. By the way, this week, we're going to be making 4 bards first. That was the challenge that Dark Wolf put forward. We're going to get a band as a party and go from there. I did not. Well, I was, in fact, in Lima, Peru. And, what was the hotel we stayed at? It was a really nice one. Oh, geez. The Astor? I don't know if that was right. We also ate at a really nice, like, local pizza place. It had a brick-fired oven. Oh, it was tasty, tasty stuff. But, you know, we went around. We talked to some different businesses. This was part of my master's degree program. And I'll tell you, Jose, I cannot find or get ceviche here that is anywhere close to what I was able to get in Peru. Oh, we also went to a horse breeding ranch, and they also raise roosters for cockfighting. Beautiful. It was a hacienda. That's what it was. Oh, hacienda something. But they trained those special Peruvian horses, the walkers, the ones that you can sit on its back holding a glass of water and it won't spill. Oh my gosh, that was great. But we went through a lot of the different areas too. We saw a lot of the houses that were built on the cliffs. We saw a lot of the beauty of the city. We saw, what was going on in the countryside as well. We went out to a couple different businesses, and it was a very interesting journey. So, yeah, hey. Clark says, another news, after a really good experience a while back during a one-shot that game my DM wanted to try with all of the homebrews and races and classes. Turns out I'm going to be running that game. If it goes well next campaign, I'll be a full-time DM. Ooh, yeah, feels good, man. Yeah, feels good, man. Man, look at you all getting all excited and empowered over DMing. I tell you, I think it really is a DM's market right now to be able to find games and run games. And the more content like what we produce here, and you can see on YouTube and other Twitch channels, or you can find references online, hopefully there are more and more of you that are going to feel confident about telling the story, not just being a part of it as a PC. Not that that's not fun. It absolutely is. Though to get experience on the other side of the table also helps you be a better PC, or by being a PC it makes you a better DM because you're subjected to that which you rule over. Hey, we're starting out with a girl. We have a female. I wonder if my stepmom knows how... Oh, she's from Chile. If she does, Dark Wolf, if she does, I would love some ceviche. Man, especially, you get that fish, and you get the leche de tigre. If I mispronounce that, or if I have a weird accent, Jose, just, pat me on the head and say, oh, there, you tried. So Peru, what kind of band? I don't know. We're going to determine that. This week, we're going to be fixed in that the first 4 characters we're making are guaranteed bards. Now, which archetype? That's random. What are their races and other things? Don't know. Oh, you know what? Oh, I'd also love some good paella. Oh, my gosh. Seafood's my jam. Oh. Ceviche, paella. Oh, all good stuff. This is why food is important in a campaign. Okay, so we have a female character, not multi-classed. Pardon me, let's roll a d10 and determine which race she is. We're going to re-roll a 10 if it comes up. 2. An elf. Okay. And which kind of elf? We're going to roll this again for odds or evens. 8. Evens. Oh, a high elf. Well, hopefully King is around here. Oh, paella is Spanish. It's Clark. My DM found a lot of really good home brews for the races and classes from WoW, so that's what we'll be trying out. If it all works out, likely we'll be running a campaign based around that sooner or later. That's cool, Clark. As you do that, please share your adventures with us as well. Alright, we have a female high elf. And let's check the alignment. We're going to roll 2d100s to do so. 8 and 26. We are... Ooh, this is a lawful good bard. Pardon me. And which level? Let's find out with a d100 roll. 97. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Level 18. She's going to have some magical powers. Classes kind of got in the way of it, and a percentile to determine if we are going to be taking feats. 24, 0 feats. They're all going to be stat bumps, ASIs, ability score increases. That is +2 to 1 stat or +1 to 2 stats. 2,500 word paper due on Friday. Don't even have a topic picked. Well, what is the class about, Clark? We're all story writers here. Maybe we can help you out. D13 for the backgrounds. 11. Ooh, a sailor or a pirate background. Interesting. No origin, though we are going to be getting the standard personality traits, 2d8, and 3d6 others. Roll 6 and 4. Remember, these are just placeholders for right now. 1, 6, and 2. There we go. We already know that she's going to be a bard. We're just going to roll odds or evens to determine which college she's in. We'll roll a d4 since we haven't done one of those yet. 3. Odds. College of Lore. Here we go. Sea shanties. There you go. Maybe she wrote the Mariner's Revenge, which we watched and I linked to in the Discord, but we watched it in the channel also. Clark says, I need to do a research paper comparing 1984 and The Handmaid's Tale, or I can compare one of the books to a real-life comparable. Might go 1984 versus Soviet-era Russia. That would be a good one. Although, did you read Animal Farm, you said? That is definitely, that is a direct parallel of the Russian Revolution. But you can find a lot of similarities of 1984 and Soviet-era Russia. You know, the fears and concerns of what a more totalitarian government can bring. You know, in modern times, I'm not going to get political, but there are many people who say 1984 wasn't supposed to be an instruction manual, just due to some of the things that we see around us going on politically, socially, civically, philosophically, etc. So, you know what, Clark? If you do need any input, I'm happy to help you. And there might be others in here too who can give you some advice, critique, or input. Oh, I'm sorry, I got to take the mask off. It's just, I don't know if it's like little cat hairs or something, but all the little fuzzies are just, they're really tickling my nose. I will keep the fez because fezzes are cool. Squeezing out, I don't know. Words can flow pretty well. Hey, Romonger, it's good to see ya. And Plunder Loot, hola to you. Are you saying hola coincidentally or because I was talking about ceviche and paella with Jose? Alright, last little bit to randomly generate here is going to be her height, weight, and her age. High elves here start at 4'6", and we're going to add 2d10 inches to her. 7 inches. Oh. Okay, that's a distant freight train. Thought maybe like an ice truck or something was going down the road, and I'm like, whoa, is this going to freeze over tonight? Because that's going to cause problems. Anyway. So she, that was a little fuzzy. She is 5'1". We're going to take this same number of 7, multiply it by 1d4 pounds. We're going to add 14 pounds to her 90, so she's 104 pounds. Plunder Loot, oh, coincidentally? Okay, Dark Wolf says, pull a NaNoWriMo, chug coffee, sit and type, don't look back. Stream of consciousness. You know, do the Dead Poet Society, you know, where you cover your eyes and you spin and you call an old man sweaty-toothed. Jose says, oh man, I reread 1984 around 2014-15 and it was too similar to the situation that was going on in Venezuela. All the creepy... I don't think that's political, Jose. I think that is very blatant. And, I mean, we can say that with compassion in our hearts for the the people of Venezuela, who are in such a dire circumstance. No, I think you're fine saying that, Jose. It is, in my personal opinion, it's a shame what's going on there right now. And I mean, how do you fix this? Is it the people who are, electing the government, and therefore they're electing to have leaders like this? Is it, is it the government, inflicting it and electing themselves? Is it a combination of both? Is it some like weird degenerative Ouroboros effect of it's one and the other at the same time? Well, how are you going to break that sort of a cycle? How can you break the cycle of abuse or, neglect or poor economic decisions of totalitarianism? Yeah, it is what it is. And, my heart can go out to him if, in the case, if it sounds like you have a concern in it too. Of some measure. I'm not weighing your soul on the issue, but 1984 is a good book, especially for a history nerd. Yes, I agree. I don't know if it's standard in classrooms anymore to read. In high school, we read that. We read Lord of the Flies. We read Animal Farm. We read Fahrenheit. We read a lot of other literature like that. Yep. And it's even more so so Plunder. It's as written and it's understandable for someone who doesn't know the history, but especially if you know the history of the Communist Revolution and the parallels between the book and the historical events, which are purposeful, of course. It really it solidifies it. Oh, all right. Well then, Jose. Then you absolutely know what's going on, man, and I'm glad that hopefully you've been able to go and you're applying your talents and you've found refuge in Peru, and in some way, however you can do it, man, learn, educate yourself, and be a part of the better world that you want. Rose says the beauty of destruction of words. Dante's Inferno is an amazing piece of literature, says Plunder. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's the statement about history repeating itself, or that it doesn't repeat, it echoes, though. Clark, hey, you know what? Just say, look, it's 2018. Are you telling me that children can't make economic policy and philosophical and educational policy? Because I mean that's obviously a very poor excuse, but under the spreading chestnut tree, I sold you and you sold me. Spicy, hey, no problem, Spicy. Come in whenever you can. I try and start at 11 every Tuesday through Saturday, so whenever it happens, I don't know, maybe Twitch is having a notification, algorithm, kind of like YouTube has, right? I guess a lot of people have been missing notifications on things, but oh well. But hey, Jose, all the more reason that I appreciate you being in here and you being a part of the community. And I mean, you got my honest feelings on the matter there. So, hopefully you are very welcomed and that you're still among friends. Nothing's changed, man. You've been the same cool person you have since you came in here, whether we knew your country of origin or not. I mean, look at Clark. He lives in Canada. That's a hopeless cause. I'm just kidding. Oh, when you find it in Klingon, says Plunderloot? Yeah. Did you see on April Fool's that Think Geek had magnetic refrigerator letters that were the Klingon alphabet? Clark. Look, I'm just saying that because you're buried under 10 feet of snow right now. No, they had some interesting stuff. They also had, if I can still find the video, I'll post it on our Discord. You know how you can take genetic tests that'll tell you your family ancestry and, you know, if you're prone to certain diseases and things like that because you send in a saliva sample and they'll tell you, oh, you're a quarter this or 10% that or whatever. They have it was like a genetic test that would tell you your stats as a D&D character. So you send in the test and it'll give you your strength score, your wisdom, your int, and things like that. Yeah, Jose knows. You got this. Oh, you have the link, Jose. Please share the link. It's great. If they still have it up and working, you all should take a minute and watch it. It's fun. If you even want to put it on Discord too, Jose, I'd appreciate it. Let's find out how old our character is. We're 86, so she is. Oh, she is old. She is venerable here. I mean, so she's not venerable in that sense, but she's old. All right, so for an elf, that means we're looking at 5. She's between 500 and 650 years old. That is a 150-sided die. Let's roll it. 56. Okay, so she is 556 years old. Cool. Thank you, Jose. I appreciate that. What do we have so far for this character? All right, so Spicy, if you remember, we're going to do 4 bards guaranteed because we're going to be making a band. And then the 5th member can be random, and it could even be a bard. Right now, we have a level 18 bard in the College of Lore. She was a sailor or pirate, as we will determine. Lawful good alignment. High elf, female, 556 years old, 5'1" and 104 pounds. And we've generated the placeholder numbers for her personality, and we're just now getting into that. So we can peek into more than just what her stat lines say that she is, but who is she? What has she done? So we finished with this. That goes bye-bye. Let's make this a little bigger here. There we go. And scrolling down, careful, this is going to flash. Sage. Sailor. There we go. No, that's fine, Jose. Peru. Are you talking about the product that's in the link? Only 2 more hours of work, says Ro, and then I get to go back to the hotel. Oh, are you displaced right now on a project, Romonger? Oh, gotcha, Peru. Yeah, it was good stuff. There was a lot of really solid April Fool's stuff that came out this year. I was happy with that. All right, we get skills, we get athletics, and we get perception. Oh, Ro's over in Japan right now. Cool. I would love to return there someday. That was a lot of fun. What is the water project that you're working on over there? Tool proficiencies. Oh, this means... Yeah, Jose, I agree. You should share some pictures because you know what, Ro? If you haven't seen it already, we're going to be getting into Hanami, or the cherry blossom viewing festivals and the events that are going on. So I bet you can get some cool pictures if you can ever, sneak out of the office. But right now, you're like 12 or 13 hours ahead of us right now, so it is, instead of 1:41 p.m., it's getting on to be about noon for you, isn't it? Tool proficiencies. Navigator's tools. And vehicles, water, which can be important in the Mesotopia region. It's almost 1 p.m. Okay, gotcha. Are you going to try and remote into your D&D session, or are you or is Sten bowing out for a little while to let everyone else have an adventure, and you'll come back whenever you come back? Or are you there for a while? Let's see, we start with a club, a belaying pin, 50 feet of silk rope. What else do we get? We get some other goodies here. A lucky charm. We'll just roll a trinket, and then we'll roll for the trinket. A set of common clothes and a belt pouch. There we go. With 10 gapuz. And pump you designate went out. It's a coolant pump for a reactor. Oh, alright. Oh no, says Shadzar. So we found out that it was not an earthquake nor a tsunami. It was Rowmonger the whole time. The villain. The villain. Yeah, exactly, Osage. He is the last boss. Let's go to our personality traits. 6. I never pass up a friendly wager. What else does she do? 4. I stretch the truth for the sake of a good story. So she's definitely good at writing sea shanties. Clark says, so I'm talking to one of the players I'll be DMing for this week and in the future. He wants to play a Pandaren monk. Oh. Are you basing Pandarens on... Are you just reskinning this core races? So is a Pandaren like a half-orc? Or are you actually providing different sets of stats and abilities instead of reskinning them? You know, I see her. I guess she's just being shy right now. Oh, well. Oh, well. It's her loss. She could be receiving praise and adoration. But cats are cats, so whatever. What's her ideal? 1. Respect. The thing that keeps a ship together is mutual respect between captain and crew. She is good, this is good. Either way, even if this was evil, we can still work this into her personality. Bonds, 6. Ruthless pirates murdered my captain and crewmates, plundered our ship, and left me to die. Vengeance will be mine. Ooh. And lastly, what is her flaw? Because we are all flawed creatures. 2. I'll say anything to avoid having to do extra work. Does he have a bread bowl on his back? Found out some really nice homebrews online that players will be using. Oh, like Kung Fu Panda. Dumpling darts, wonton stars, egg noodle, nunchaku, and lastly rice caltrops. Yeah, you could like shape and mold the rice into the little pointy bits. Like what you ask yourself, what happens if you step on a D4? Well, you take D4 damage. Okay. So there is something else that we can take as a feature instead of ship's passage, which we can completely stick to. We can take bad reputation. If your character has a sailor background, you may select this background feature instead of ship's passage. No matter where you go, people are afraid of you due to your reputation. When you are in a civilized settlement, you can get away with minor criminal offenses such as refusing to pay for food at a tavern or breaking down doors at a local shop, since most people will not report your activity to the authorities. Now, we have a lawful good character, she's probably not going to go that route. That's something for you to consider for your own characters if you do end up taking this as a background. And making her a pirate... I don't know. We could say maybe she was a pirate in her youth if we really wanted to. And I mean, that doesn't mean that she still didn't have her captain slain by pirates, because, you know, warfare among different pirates. Something along those lines. We can have her be a reformed pirate if we wish. That'll be up to us. She's our character. We'll do what we want. All right, so this is our character. You can start thinking of her looks. You can think of her name, some of her features, eyes, skin, and hair. She is an elder elf. That said, depending on how you consider Fae, she might not even look old. She might look the same as she did when she hit 25. Or she maintains a lot of vestiges of youth, but if you look carefully at the corners of her eyes, she might have some wrinkles. Or at the corner, like, it's subtle, right? She might have a silver streak in her hair, though she looks otherwise youthful. These are cosmetics that you can apply to the Fae races in your own world. What happens? In my world, elves actually hit... elves hit a point where they go into what I call a second youth. Now that's because elves were cursed, and they could not live to be 750 years old. In fact, they're the shortest lived race of the common races. They were naturally dying around 35, 40 years old. And over time, this has come back. And so now they're about a dwarf's lifespan, about, was it 300 or so years old. And in order to break the curse, of course, that was its own whole thing. And so an elf will hit an aged state at, about the halfway point, maybe, whatever, maybe 2/3 of the way in. And then they'll go into what's called the second youth. And their body will then regenerate back from this natural, I don't want to say a state of decay. They're not dead or anything. But an anti-aging process kicks in, but that is what will accelerate why they don't live that extra time, because as their body is working to regenerate itself and become more youthful, it just burns through its own lifespan more quickly. And so, yeah, you'll get about an extra 100 years on the back end, so you hit aged around, 150, 200, and you'll get another 100 years, but you'll die young. Like, you're not going to shrivel up into a baby, but your body just becomes so youthful. Well, if you look at the infants and the infirm, right? We have similar conditions of mental state, of bladder or bowel control, things along those lines. And so you don't know how to say things or do things as a baby and as a very old person. In many cases, due to degenerative diseases, things like that. And so that's how I conceptualize the elves in my world, is that they hit this point where they're aged, and then they go into their second youth. So, yeah, Rowmonger, or a privateer too. That's a licensed pirate. That's like a high seas bounty hunter. Plunderloot says, what happens when you step on a D4? Yeah, you take 1d4 piercing damage. Shadzar wants to name her Elspeth von Elderberry. People call her Eve for short. Oh, hey, I like that. Shadzar. Hey, Derek, welcome. Here, I'm going to make a note of this real quick. We know the normal spread. If you need to see it again, I'll explain it. You know that you can always stop and ask questions. There we go. Why did the wizard leave magic school? He got he got spelled. I think. Hang on, I'm sorry. I'm trying to process that. I'm not thinking of the correct word. He got expelled, you mean? Expel, because he's a wizard that was kicked out. Anyway. So that makes them not actually elves, but a homebrew race? No, they're still elves. Why wouldn't they be elves? Does one get inspiration from the Monty Python for the name? Yeah. Shadzar, you are one. Spicy didn't even notice the new stream boss. Yes. Bobo, in fact, on Saturday took over stream boss because Bobo was just a big old jerk and he decided to subscribe to the channel. So Spicy, I mean, if you don't like that little green cube up there named Bobo staring at you, hashtag just saying. By the way, Spicy, if your roommate's around, tell your roommate we all say hi too. Yeah, why did the ghost cancel his gym membership? He got exercised. Oh, where was I? Oh yeah, I was doing the name here, and then we can... Alright, so we know that she's going to be a bard, and we will get to that, because we're making a band this week. At Dark Wolf's request here. Though, we are going to discover, what do high elves get? Clark says, underrated thing to have in your life, someone close to you who's majoring in music, so you find new music that's good regularly. Ooh. Yeah, that is something nice about college, is you are around a lot of peers who have different interests, and so you get exposed to a lot of other ideas and lifestyles and things very, very quickly. What has been your most recent musical discovery, Clark? Let's see. Our dex score, we're going to get 2 just by being an elf. We are going to get 30 feet here, which is going to put a swim speed of 15, a climb speed of 15, and an intrinsic fly speed of 0. We do get dark vision, so we'll come up here to this little eyeball and type in 60 feet, because that is our range. We are proficient in perception, and we already get that by virtue of being a sailor. So, I'm going to make a little note here. Spicy, thank you. Look at that. Just like that, Spicy's icon is up here. Well, you can't see me wiggle the mouse over it. Here, I'll try and fudge it on... Here we go. Spicy Larry is the new boss. The boss. Your roommate says salutations. Well, death to Larry. Thank you for being a part of what we have going on here, too. Greetings and salutations to you. I hope you all, that you two had a great Easter weekend in whatever you ended up doing. Or if you took it as the secular April Fool's Day or a day off or whatever. Hope you had fun. Thank you. My most recent musical discovery was Be More Chill. What is Be More Chill, Dark Wolf? Plunder Loot says, I will say that some covers are amazing. For instance, Bad Wolf's zombie cover. It is great. Named The White Buffalo. Really not sure how to describe his music, but I really enjoy it. Well, if you think that there's a song or something that would be, a good explanation, and, if you... I trust your judgment, Clark. If you think it's something that... Oh, hey, it's Plunder Loot. You're talking Clark's language, it seems. If you want to share a link and you think it's, appropriate for kind of the jam that we're putting out here, then please feel free to share it, Clark. Alright, I'm going to make a note. Take another skill. Because this is redundant from our background that we get perception. Well, we get that anyway as a high elf. And so we'll throw it into something else that'll make sense for her. Either as a high elf or as being a sailor or a privateer or however we want to flavor her. Keen sense is, we do get Fey Ancestry, which is nice. That means that we have advantage on versus Charmed, and magic can't put us to sleep. I do not believe I've seen it, Plunder Loot. If you think, well, I'll open this in a... I'll open this on the side here. Okay, there we go. I will save that. It's a musical about a high school kid who gets a nanocomputer in his brain in an attempt to be more popular and woo his crush. Clark says, "Did you know Dolores O'Riordan was supposed to be on the track?" Oh, this is musical geek trivia. I'm gonna bow out of there and just be a D&D nerd. We do get to trance, by the way, which means 4 hours of a semi-conscious trance equals an 8-hour sleep or rest. Let's see. Languages, we do get Common and Elven. And as a high elf, there are some interesting things that we get. Our intelligence score is going to increase by 1. We are also going to get some weapon training. Long short sword, long short bow. We will also get a cantrip. Alright, so this take another skill is going to have to go. Here's our elf cantrip. We have to take it from the wizard list. And we will get an extra language of some kind, which we'll determine at some point in time. Doesn't even have to be tonight. Cool. There's that. Now we get to go down to classes and look at the bard. We're going to have this tab open a lot this week. Oh, so she was supposed to be featured on this album, and I presume then an accident happened or something occurred that something kept her from it? Shadzar, the music died long ago. Don McLean already told the story. You may or may not have cried that day. Hey, you know what? Such an admission, Clark, is perfectly fine. You know what? Because music is supposed to really, you know, touch our feelings, to get us to think about things, to stir us. And, you know, in that way, if that happened, I completely understand why you would have felt sadness or despair. Yeah, Spicy. When we get the band together, not only will we give our campaign a fun and sassy name, but we can name the band. But I think it'd be important to discover the members first, and then what would the members want to come up with as a band. Shadzar says the pureed avocados. Oh, and Plunder Loot. I don't think Plunder Loot is suggesting that as a band name. Rather, he's explaining what happened to this person supposedly going on the album. Yeah, you know, it's always, you know, you wonder, you can wonder why it is that, you know, this happens. You hear the rock stars and the singers and all that, and then the overdosing and all this other stuff. And, you know, when you look a little bit more into it, not that that's ever an excuse, but, you know, when you see the schedules that they keep or the lifestyle that either they live or that is expected of them, and then in which they participate, you know, it's these are results of it, and it is sad to hear. But yeah, so Spicy, getting back to what you were saying, if you want to keep a list of names going as we're developing these characters, please go right ahead. We'll flesh it out as we go along. Yeah, well, depending on what they are, Plunder Loot, I agree. Oh, gotcha, Clark. Well, / comfort. That's what my little Lalafell would be doing. She has 18 D8 hit die, so we're going to fill in that. She's used 0. And we can even fill those in. She's not multi-class, so there's no other competing hit die. What else do we get? Ooh, we get armor proficiency of light armor. We are also going to get simple weapons, hand, crossbows, and rapiers. because we already have long and short sword. Long and short sword. There's no need to be redundant there. If you really wanted, could you ask your DM to say, oh, can I be proficient in something else instead? I'll give up one or both of these redundancies to get the trident. You know, if you think she'd be proficient with a trident because of her mariner background or something like that. Hey, I don't know what your DM would say, but bat your eyelids and say, pretty please. King Von LA says, Urist pull lever and the 100% true goods. Well, hey, you know, we do have this nice, maybe she's the lead, I don't know, maybe she's backup, something like that. But King, look at this. Is this auspicious or not that we have a lawful good female high elf? She's definitely the matron of the band here. She is quite, she is of an age. And, you know, if that's your thing. Oh, good advice and sentiment. I appreciate you all bringing that sort of stuff up. Saving throws, dexterity, and charisma. And skills, we get to choose any 3 skills. Alright, so hang on, we're going to get an elf skill. And then we're going to get 3x bard skills. Our spell casting will be based off of charisma. We'll get there. We are 18th level. She is an experienced madame. Whoop, not initiative. Our proficiency's +6 at that level. Now, she's going to get a lot of stuff. She's going to get a Jill of all trades. Man, this party's going to be not lacking in the ability to pass skill checks. Song of Rest. Expertise, and we can indicate expertise. If you can see it, there's these little bubbles on top of the other one. We can fill that in on the skills, and it'll give her double proficiency in that. Is doubled for an ability check. Okay, and we're gonna get two skills. There we go. Oh, and at 10th, I'm sorry, we're gonna get this in 4 skills. Font of Inspiration. Counter Charm. Magical Secrets. Choose 2 spells from any class, including this one. A spell you choose must be of a level you can cast. So we can learn Cleric or Druid spells, things like that. And we can even hold those open for the other members of her band to come in, and maybe we choose those based on the background or the way that we're saying that they have gotten together and the things that they've done. She is College of Lore. We're going to gain proficiency in 3x COL skills. Look at this. So we're sitting on 7 more skills in which to be proficient. We are going to get Cutting Words. And additional magical secrets, lots more spells, and Peerless Skill. When you make an ability check, you can expend the use of Bardic Inspiration. Chosen spells count as Bard spells, but don't. Okay. Oh, that's for additional magical. All right. Throw her on the waifu rack. Don't tell Tycho. don't let him know that she's there. Well, I'll let you place her on whatever pedestal you wish, King. Senpai and Yandere's for the band in your game. Oh, Senpai and the Yandere's. Mr. Plunderloot, have you heard of Blacktop Mojo cover Dream On? Their big hit is Notice Me, says Plunderloot in reference to the Senpai and the Yandere's. Oh, yeah, well, that's an album that would be dedicated for the trolls that have been coming in here, right, King? Some people just don't try to be people. Her background feature, by the way, was ship's passage. In some way, she still has a connection with a ship and can book passage or things along those lines, get deals, maybe gather information, things along those lines based on one of the ships. Something, you know, that I like is on the Bob Ross channel, because I'll lurk in there over the weekends when it plays, is he always, when he's talking about mixing violet or lavender, he'll always say, you know, you need much more crimson than blue. And, you know, more crimson than blue sounds like a really good song title. And so often, if I'm in there and I'm free, I'll put more crimson than blue in quotes by Bob Ross and the Devil Beaters. You need a ship for international tours? Well, hey, maybe we can even put her on. Maybe we can even put her on the same ship that our chaotic neutral sorcerer was from, that we made in the very first Mesotopia campaign. The one that was like really spy and intrigue heavy, you know, neutral at best, evil at worst kind of a thing. Maybe we have that be a very venerable ship that makes its way around the this inner sea. All right. No feats, all ability score bumps. This can be fun. And 7 skills to add in, too. Oh, gosh. Oh, she's going to get some starting gear that we didn't put in, too. Hang on one moment. Rapier, longsword, or any simple weapon. Let's give her a... I don't know. Do we want to make her dexterous? Do we want to make her strength? Do we want to give her, like, you know, old person strength? Around the store, we just sort of generically call it old man strength. Though in this case, you know, she is a lady. But if we go longsword, then we would make her a strength bard. If we go rapier, we can make her a dex bard. I mean, considering that she's good with hand crossbows, short swords, and both regular kinds of bows, maybe she goes dex. I mean, she's getting a bonus to it anyway as an elf. If we do that, then we can give her a rapier or like a fencing sword, pokey pokey. We can give her, we'll give her a diplomat's pack. She seems austere enough. A lute or some other musical instrument. We'll put instrument, question mark, question mark, question mark, because we need to give her an instrument of some kind. We're going to give her leather armor. And a dagger. Strength bard, so much more you can run with it. I just like playing against the grain. Well, you know, of the 4 bards we're going to be generating this week, Derek, I'm sure that we'll be able to have one of them be a strength bard also. Dark Wolf likes the dex idea. So she may not be too strong. I don't know. I mean, dex could be her 3rd trait if we really wanted to. If ye be a scurvy-riddled sea dog, they could be Cap'n Jack and the Sparrows. The shanty they be known fair is where'd all the rum go. Followed by Jar of Dirt. Well, alright, if we're going to make her dex, that means of our skills, we're probably going to go, whoop, not that, 15, 14. Let's look at her life. What has she done? Never passes on a wager, stretched with truth, Respect, anything that keeps a ship together. Mutual respect between captain and crew. She does have a sense of vengeance. She'll say anything to avoid having to do extra work. Maybe... 13, 12, 10, and 8, right? She's an elder. Maybe she's not quite as hale and hearty as she once was. And so we give her an 8 in her constitution to reflect that. What do you all think of the stat spread? Gonna listen to the music and try to write this paper. Hey, later, Clark. Yeah, if you need to come back, get some input, you need a little bit of a break, you know where to find us. Good luck in that. If we do this as our stat spread, and remember, this is her at level 1. I mean, so this is a young Eve that we're talking about here. That would put, hey Volvo, thank you, I appreciate the host. Still though, only 94 are impressed. Someday you'll get that 100. You'll get the item that you can win from that. So at level 1, you know, she's still young and spry. Whether we want her to be a sailor, a pirate, or kind of combine the two and say privateer, this would give her a starting 16 dex and a 13 int. Four, 8, 12, 16. These are the levels at which she's going to get an ASI or an ability score increase. In other words, a bump in her stats. +2 to 1 stat or +1 to 2 stats. Hi, Volvo. Man, we've been having a great conversation in here. If you like music or snow or South American cuisine, geez, what else have we been talking about? Singers, band names, because we're this week our challenge is to make of the 5 characters that are going to be in this party for the campaign, 4 of them are guaranteed bards of some kind, and the 5th can be random. So we are going to demonstrate how you can have 4 bards in a party, but you're going to get 4 very different characters. Yeah, Dark Wolf does want some sea shanties. Now the first one, I mean, because as a bard, we would like to max out our charisma. First would go there. Second would go there. Third, we can go 1 and 1, which would bring her to 20, and then we can drop in 1 more in something else. For instance, we can give her wisdom, and then we would get 1 more that we can use to bump something else up. And that could be, I mean, we still have 7 skills to give her. Where would we want to put in skills? You love music, used to be in a band when you were in high school. Oh, that's cool. Well, you are among good company, because right now we have a bunch of band nerds talking up and going over some musical style thingies. I'm not very much into popular music. I don't know what's in the top 10 right now. That's me. So, hey, it's Karma the Goat. Karma, I am sad to inform you that if you do look in the upper left-hand side, you have been deposed of your throne by Spicy Larry. But it is good to see you. Yeah, we could put it in Dex, Plunder Loot. Bring her up to an 18 Dex, right? She may have low HP, but she'll have slightly better armor and ability to hit things with not spells. Yeah, we could do that. And you know what? She gets her last ASI at level 19. I don't know, maybe she could take some feat or something to bump up her int and get that one last little, that edge in. Karma says, it's okay, that throne was freezing cold. Well, you're just saying that because the throne was freezing cold. But hey, the throne is getting spicy now. Alright, we have to give her 7 skills. What kind of a sailor was she? What are we going to make her proficient in? Our strength and con are out, right? The only strength skill is filled in already, and there's nothing in con. Do we want... she has a high dex, so... Right, if we come down and look at her personality, she'll never pass up a friendly wager. Maybe she does a little sleight of hand, right? Maybe she's very keen on putting things together, on counting cards, something like that. We can give her investigation. She has perception already. Yeah, Karma, it has been it's been a great growth cycle. There's a lot of friends that we've made along the way, and the channel is still positive, and you know, it's going in the right direction. Having low con can make for an interesting bit in the game. I agree. You know, everyone's like, oh, but I want max hit points. Well, it's reflecting her age, or it's reflecting if you are let's talk meta. You're a player and you make a character like this. You say, yeah, I took a low con because she's older, or you take a low con because you want the challenge, or you say, well, look, I'm making a very spellcasty bard. I'm not going to be on the front lines. I don't need to worry about that. I'd rather have stronger stats elsewhere for my character. Plunder Loot is thinking persuasion, maybe performance also. I mean, performance would be... She's in a band, right? Performance, sleight of hand. So there's 3 of our 7. Maybe investigation. That could be things like counting cards or something along those lines, right? We're doing processing, not just perception. So now we have 3 more proficiencies left. Yep, got there. That's already in there. History. Okay, we have investigation, so here's history. We have 2 more left now. How's this character resonating with you? Look at her personality. Think she's lived a full life, right? She's an elder elf. What would have been important for her to learn along the way? She never passes up a friendly wager. She stretches the truth for the sake of a good story. She has respect. The thing that keeps a ship together is mutual respect between captain and crew. Ruthless pirates murdered her captain, and crewmates plundered the ship and left her to die. Vengeance will be hers, and she'll say anything to avoid having to do extra work. Could that mean deception? What is one of our last 2 deception? We have history already, Derek, so we could throw in religion. That is true. So yeah, history's in there. Lisa's not the warlock with a 4 con. Most of the internal organs were... Oh, jeez. That's a heck of a pact. So, alright, so Derek is thinking deception. That means we get 1 more skill to be proficient in. Maybe... What about animal handling could be interesting. What about insight, right? If she's concerned about the state of the crew and the captain and all that, do you think she'd be she'd have proficiency in insight, so she can read emotion, right? She has kind of like an empathic, not a magical, but she can feel empathy, know when people are lying, that kind of a thing. Derek is thinking intimidation because she's a matriarch. That could very well be too. I mean, she has a lot of life to have lived. The King says, what does she need insight for? I just pay her to look pretty. So King is apparently the captain of the ship upon which she served. So we have 1 more floating, and animal handling was thrown out there. That's true. Sometimes you could just go lol random, because it could be important that one time you need it. Animal handling, intimidation, and insight are thrown out there. Though King is saying, nah. Survival, if she is an elf, says Peru. Okay, well, we have a lot of good ideas here. Any consolidation of thoughts? Otherwise, I can just roll a D4 since we have 4 offers out there. King says no to animal handling, but insider survival. Stealth if she is sneaky. As a high elf, you'd expect survival. Animal handling makes more sense. She does stretch the truth. I think that one was based in her personality, Dark Wolf. All right, let's give her survival. Right? Look at this. Murdered captain and crewmates, plundered the ship, left her to die. So she might have picked up some survival skills based on her background, right? High elves have universally proven, unless they rolled rogue or ranger, not a lot of strong survival traits. Well, here we go. We have a survivor. She's not going to give up. She's going to be strong. She's going to keep on surviving. They lash themselves to sacrificial altars. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 proficiencies. She's still going to get half proficiency from her Jill of all trades in all of these. And also, now here's the question. We get expertise in 4 skills. What are the 4 skills that she gets double proficiency in for being really good? So she's quite like the pyramid, right? She has a strong base of all skills. She has a solid middle core, but there are 4 skills that she is even super de-duper better at doing. Those are control panels, blood-powered control panels. Perfectly reasonable. You went through the public bidding process for them and everything, and, you know, of all the options, those were the lowest priced. Alright, so plunder loot, Perugi is thinking deception, performance. Alright, so deception, there's 3 already. Alright, so deception for sure. I'm gonna fill in the little extra bubble here. There we go. She's getting double proficiency in that. Then we have performance as an offering, perception, sleight of hand, and history. She's a known liar. She has experienced elf eyes. She's a kleptomaniac, and she's well-lived. Ooh, you know, that is something to consider too, Derek, right? Is her knowledge of history... I mean, yeah, it's book knowledge, but she has been through history, right? She's been alive over 500 years. I really like that. I will definitely... I think history would be a good double proficiency in that. Although, Derek, I mean, he threw those thoughts out there. Do you all... do you have any counter thoughts? Do you have any additional thoughts? Because otherwise we have perception and sleight of hand as the other 2 that are out there, possibly competing with performance. Volvo thinks Derek makes a good point. Well, alright, let's go with it then. Sleight of hand and perception. There we go. There you go, Derek. You make sense. Is that an insult? You know I'm playing. Okay. Oh boy, we have things. We have 4 cantrips known. 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course we have our Elven cantrip too. And we have to pull that specifically from the wizard list. So we can just put R for race or E for elf. That might appease King a little bit more. That way we're recognizing who she is. You'd say performance wasn't for the fact that most of the story you keep mentioning rarely has to do with performance. Side note, your shirt is the wrong color. What do you mean it's the wrong color, Derek? Oh. Keep calm and hail Megatron. Keep calm and hail Megatron. We get 12. We get 16 sleight of hand. Whew. The press-on sticker for your Megatron is actually an Autobot logo, specifically because of the art in his comics. Ooh. Drives my roommate nuts. Now, what's interesting is if you take the Autobots logo and you flip it upside down, it looks like Robotnik's head. I'll show a picture on the Discord when I take the break if you'd like to see. Whoop, perception is going to be higher. Oh, gee, she's going to have a massive passive perception. 12 plus 2 is 14. Plus 10 is 24 passive perception. Whew, nothing's going to escape her. You try and steal a cookie from Grandma's cookie jar, oh, she's going to be on your knuckles with that wooden spoon in no time flat. I like the bit where he defected. Ooh, in the comic. Did he just form his own clan plunder loot, or what happened with what he was doing? Oh, 17 deception. Whoa. Grandma's going to tell you tales and you're going to believe them. There be monsters on that map. Whether there are or not, there be monsters. Okay, now that we have that, we can calculate some hit points. So at first level, she is going to start with her maximum of D8. For all levels, you get your con bonus. So she is going to get minus 18 points. And we're going to add this to her remaining levels, which is 17, because remember, she's getting the full for level 1. So we have 17 times 4. Now, we normally do half plus 1, right? So it'd be 5. Though, remember, or no, I'm sorry, it is times 5. That was for something else. I'm being bad. Okay, so we have 85 plus 8 is 93 minus 18. So we have 85, 75. There we go. Leather is 11 plus dex, so 15. No shield bonus. No other resistances to anything that are obvious here. And we can fill in her extra language, at some point in time. Club is going to be a plus 6 to hit. Rapier is going to be, we can use finesse, so that could be a plus 10. And a dagger is going to be the same. And we could always give her a bow or something along those lines if we really want to. Looking at spell slots for an 18th level character, we're going to get 4, 3, 3, 3, 3, 1, 1, 1, and 1. There we go. She's full up on slots, and she's not used any yet. We can also start filling in this other stuff. 8 plus... Okay, so 8, it's 14 plus 5 is 19. That is going to be the save DC. And the attack is going to be 5 plus 6, so she's going to get plus 11 to her attacks. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your charisma modifier. Okay, so we can put Bardic Inspiration up here because this is sort of a side pool. And we get a D12 at 15th level. Which is a D12, so we'll just do shorthand there. We're going to get 5 total uses of this, and she's used 0. There we go. Isn't this nice? Look, everything is just nice, and it's on the front page of this modified character sheet. And then we can really have some fun picking out our spells, especially because we get into the big boy spells. What do we have here? So the press on sticker, drives roommate nuts, defected. Bumblebee's death after Shockwave tried a bit that was a mass genocide of all Transformers. Oh no, he went Autobot. Oh. She's so screwed. Plus side, strong-willed. Bubonic, what do we have here? A bard. So yes, Bubonic. We are going to be making 4 guaranteed bards. And then on Friday, we're going to make a 5th character, which could be a bard, but we're going to open it up to the truly randomized process. This is coming on the heels of a somewhat of a challenge that Darkwolf put out, as I was describing how you can have a party of all the same class character, but you will have different characters. It's not just a bard is a bard is a bard. There are many different ways to run a bard and have a bard. And so, you know, I think I was using fighters, and I was saying, look, if we take all of the class skills and then the archetypes, there's really 40 classes in the PHB, let alone the fact that your background is a part of your character also. And there's more than just, you know, the 13 different backgrounds too. If you take in the ways that they can be adjusted or reflected. You'd almost like to see a College of Whispers here, says Plunderloot. I guess I could throw one in there. I have the book. I would. I'll tell you what, Plunder, because we're doing a special project. I'll see what I can do for that. Okay. I'll see if I can make it presentable to you all. For the most part, I want to stick to the core books because it's easy, it's accessible, it's all you need to play D&D. Though maybe I can bust that book out and we can discuss options. All right, well, we have a name. Shads are throughout. Elspeth von Elderberry, aka Eve for EVE. Karma's checking her experience points, her XPs, and we do have some spells to choose. Though right now, I'm not too worried about filling those in just yet. We are going to get a lot of options because of what she is. And I need to get up and take a break. So I'm going to break right here. We have a mostly done character. You know, she's only mostly done. And we'll come back and let's work on Bard number 2. It's like a dating game, right? Bard number 2, come on down. And then we can cross-mogenate spells and go from there, because a part of them, they would be developing the spells together as a band. And we can also tell their personal tales from the spells that they've gotten throughout their life. So we can have a little fun there too, right? You know, why would Elspeth have Tasha's hideous laughter? Well, maybe it came in handy one day. All right, anyway, gonna take a short rest. I'll be back in about 10 minutes or so. You know, get up and stretch and yawn. You know, pet your cat or doggo, get a snack, answer nature's call, whatever you need to do. I'll be back shortly, and we'll get the second character made tonight.